everyone, I realized it's been quite a while since I gave you an updated fragrance collection, and this time I decided to do it in a more educational way. So before we jump into my most used fragrances, I'm going to give you some definitions that will help us understand the fragrances better. I also apologize in advance for any mispronunciations that are coming your way. French is not my strong suit, and there are a lot of French words used when to describe fragrance and perfume. But even before that, I do want to talk about what's on my lips because I am so excited about this launch. So many of you, hopefully all of you already know who Lisa D1 is here on YouTube. She is one of the OGs of YouTube. I'm also very honored to say she's a dear friend of mine. We text pretty much every day, sometimes several times a day. And she has recently partnered again with Christian Audette, which is a makeup line. They also do other products like candles, and she just did, I think, her second launch with them. And I am wearing two of the products from her collection. Her lip liner, which is called Paradis, and I will just do a little swatch here. If you don't know Lisa, she is known for the most fabulous lip combination. So that is the lip liner, and I do have that on my lips and shaded in a little bit in the corners. But then on top of that, for sure, the standout of the collection is her newest lipstick creation in the shade Golden Hour. And if you are fans of Estee Lauder Rose Amethyst, which is, I can say, a shade and a formula that Lisa introduced to me over a decade ago probably, and I still hoard one tube hoping to find a dupe. I can let that tube go because here's the dupe. This is such a beautiful, gorgeous, very wearable shade, and I layered it right on top of the lip liner. I have a little bit of a defining edge there. I didn't fill my whole lips in with the lip liner, so you can kind of still see it. I really like the look. And there are two other products. There is an eyeshadow crayon that is just gorgeous. It's in the shade Naked Birkin. I haven't actually put it on my eyes because it came after I did my makeup today. It's right there. I cannot wait. And then there's also a beautiful candle. I will talk about that in future videos, but now is the time to talk about fragrance. I pulled my fragrance collection here for you. I just keep it in a tray that I found a while ago at HomeGoods. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I am going to go through my most used, and I'm going to talk about them in order from most to least used. Before we get to that, let's talk about some definitions. I did do quite a bit of research. I'm going to refer you to a blog post that was really helpful. I'll put that down in the description box as well. But when we're talking about fragrance, most of us are familiar with the concept of notes, top notes, middle or heart notes, and base notes. And the concept of notes kind of refers to two things. First of all, the length of time each of those scents lasts and the order in which you smell them. So the top notes you smell first. It's what gives you the first impression of a fragrance, but that top note generally lasts anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. So not a very strong or long-lasting scent. Then the middle notes are the notes that really give the heart, which is why they're sometimes referred to as the heart notes, the heart of the fragrance. Some say it's the truest nature of the perfume or fragrance, and those scents generally last 20 to 60 minutes. And then lastly, you have the base notes. Those are generally the strongest notes, the strongest scents in the fragrance. They last the longest. Sometimes they can last longer than 6 hours. And the reason I am talking about notes is because I'm going to give you the top, middle, and base notes of each of these fragrances, and you're going to see over and over again, there are a lot of similarities, a lot of the same descriptors keep coming up. So if you like any or all of the scents that I'm talking about, as you look for other ones that you may be interested in trying for yourself, think about those notes that you hear more often than not in the ones that you like. That'll help you kind of tailor your search for that perfect fragrance. Something else that I learned about when I was researching these fragrances is a concept called accords or main accords. So I actually have two kind of different definitions of what an accord is in pure perfumery. That is a hard word for me to say. I have them written out here. I want to make sure I get them correct. I guess it's the teacher in me. I think definitions are important. So one concept means it's a combination of several ingredients that become more than a sum of their parts. It sort of acquires a distinctive character, when an accord is added into a fragrance, it lends the finished composition its distinctive, unique character. That's pretty vague, right? Another one says that the accord is the pooling of different raw materials. They're balanced and harmonized to create a distinctive scent, and the accord is made up of a maximum of 6 to 10 components. That will become more clear as we move through these fragrances. So let's move through my fragrances. I'll start with what I am currently using the most, and we'll work our way down. So most used currently, and honestly the one that every time I wear it I get stopped and asked what I'm wearing, is the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Let me tell you about it. It is described as an amber floral fragrance. The main accords are sweet, almond, cherry, and nutty. Now let's get to the notes. I'll just hold this up for you while I read them to you. So the top notes, what you smell first, are sour cherry, bitter almond, and liqueur. And that sounds not so delicious, but this really is. Now the middle notes, what are sort of the heart of the fragrance, are sour cherry again, plum, Turkish rose, and jasmine sambac. I do not know what that is. And then the base notes, these are the heavier notes, and this is where I see the most recurring scent as I move through this list. Tonka bean, vanilla, Peru balsam, cinnamon, benzoin, sandalwood, cedar, cloves, vetiver, and patchouli. Now, I will say obviously that everyone has their own preferences when it comes to scent and fragrance, and mine definitely is a warmer, spicier, more amber underlying fragrance, and you're going to hear that a lot. This is a pricey fragrance as well. I have a couple of less expensive options, but I have noticed over time that while I love a lot of things at the drugstore, like a lot, and a lot of clothes at Walmart, so to speak, when it comes to fragrance, I like a more complex scent, and those tend to be more expensive. I do try to find sales, like I got this one during an anniversary sale and other things like that. So if you are a huge fan of expensive fragrances, there are still ways to get them, maybe not on a budget-friendly way, but more budget-friendly. Next, again, a scent that I did get during a Nordstrom anniversary sale is this one. Look how beautiful this bottle is. This is the Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540. It is an amber floral fragrance. The main accords are woody, amber, and warm spicy. The top notes are saffron and jasmine. The middle notes are amberwood and ambergris. And the base notes are fir resin and cedar. I did Google how to say this man's last name. It's Kurkdjian. That is not even remotely how it looks as it's printed. He is a very famous perfumier, fragrance creator, and his scents are very, very expensive. One way to get around it is to buy the travel size options. That is probably the most budget-friendly way to pick up one of his scents. I was recently told by someone who works in the fragrance department at Nordstrom that the scent Burberry Her is very similar to this, and I did some research, and he did create the Burberry Her fragrance line for Burberry. So there is some overlap. I did look up the notes, and they don't completely overlap, but I would say give it a sniff the next time you're in a department store, and if you really like this fragrance, the Burberry Her might make a more budget-friendly alternative. My next most worn fragrance is this one, and again, I got this as part of a gift set maybe last holiday. This is the Laura Mercier Amber Vanilla. This is an Eau de Toilette. It is described as an amber vanilla fragrance, and the main accords are sweet, almond, and powdery. And I'll admit, when I hear powdery, I don't think that sounds very good, but it smells really good. The top notes are orchid, heliotrope, and tangerine. The middle notes are coconut and almond, which I love. And the base note, again, is sandalwood. And sandalwood was also one of the base notes in Lost Cherry. Laura Mercier makes some beautiful scents. While she's probably most known for her makeup, I personally love her Bath & Body stuff the most. This year, she did not release the holiday sets that I like, that has the fragrance, the bubble bath, basically, and then the matching lotion. It was much more scaled down this year. I'm wondering if that was a reflection of the supply and demand issues we're having, but she makes amber vanilla scent also in a body lotion, usually in a shower gel / bubble bath, and obviously in this eau de toilette as well. Next we have this, and I actually have two sizes. I did also pick this up during a Nordstrom anniversary sale. I have this size and then the same bottle shape in a much larger shoe. And I will admit what first attracted me to this was the bottle. I mean, it is a giant high-heeled shoe that won't stay in focus. Isn't this adorable? The bottle part is here. The rest is just decoration. The heel comes off, you know, and it just can sit like that. This is more of the travel size. So the Carolina Herrera Good Girl is described again as an amber floral fragrance. See what I mean? At least I'm consistent. The main accords are white floral, sweet, and again with the warm spicy. Top notes include almond, coffee, bergamot, and lemon. The middle notes are tuberose, jasmine, sambac, orange blossom, orris, and Bulgarian rose. And then we get to the base notes. Again, here's where the similarities keep popping up. We have tonka bean, cacao, okay, that one's new, vanilla, praline, sandalwood, amber, musk, cashmere wood, don't know what that is supposed to be, cinnamon, patchouli again, and cedar. So those warmer, woodier, spicier scents. Now, I don't get all the same scents. I do purposely try to add a couple different ones. So depending on where I'm going, I will tailor what I am wearing. So the next one is a little different, but it's a little fruitier. And it is, where is she? I just have it in the roller ball. This is the Trish McEvoy 9 Blackberry and Vanilla Musk. It's an eau de parfum. It does come in a normal size bottle as well. I'm rationing this one out. I really need to just buy the big bottle of this one. The Trish McEvoy main accord is fruity, that's new, musky and sweet. The top notes are blackberry, which would make sense since it's blackberry and vanilla musk. So blackberry, plum, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are white rose, osmanthus, and tiare flower. That pops up a few times as well. And then the base notes, again, musk, vanilla, and cashmere wood. I am consistent in what I like. Now this next one, I don't know if I've ever talked about this, maybe once. It's a newer fragrance. It's very different from everything else that I have. And I reach for this one when I'm going to more of a business type meeting and maybe I just want to smell nice, but not something that's really strong or sexy, a little more professional, if that makes sense. And this is from the brand Lake and Skye, and it is the Cote du Paradis. It's an eau de parfum. It's more of a woody fragrance, and even the bottle is very clean looking and very minimalist. It's a woody fragrance. The main accords are vanilla, woody, and powdery. Top notes are heliotrope and almond. The middle notes, this I've never seen before. Whipped cream is listed as the first middle note. I can't pronounce this. Guaiac wood and sandalwood. So sandalwood makes an appearance here. And then the base notes are very similar, vanilla, cedar, and tonka bean, but this doesn't have that spicy scent. Well, it is a little spicy, but it's not that sweetness to it. It's a lot of a cleaner scent. So if you don't like sweet, but you like spicy, give this one a try. And also I will note, as I was researching these, some were listed as fragrances for women. Some were listed as fragrances that both men and women can wear. I'm not gonna say that there are rules as to what you can and cannot wear, but the Lost Cherry, the Baccarat Rouge, the Amber Vanilla, and the Trish McEvoy, and the Cote de Paradis all were listed as something men and women could wear. Good Girl was a little more floral, so not as much. My next most worn fragrance is actually a gift from my brother-in-law. He gave this to me as a hostess gift, which I thought was really sweet. This bottle is beautiful, as it should be, because it is from Tiffany, and this is the Tiffany & Company Eau de Parfum, and I mean, look at that bottle. Even if I never wore the scent, it just is so pretty to have out on my perfume tray. This one, I had to Google a lot. It's described as a, I'm gonna put the word up on the screen here, chipper, fruity fragrance. What is chipper? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it says it's reminiscent of a woodland smell. I don't get a wood fragrance from this. When I looked up what chipper or chiper is, they didn't have a pronunciation, but it said that bergamot, rose, patchouli, and oak moss are the 4 main components of that fragrance. I don't know. The main accord is citrus. I get no, this is a much more clean fragrance, I will say. The top notes are green mandarin, bergamot, and lemon. Middle notes are iris, rose, blackcurrant, and peach. And the base notes, again, are patchouli and musk. Your base notes, you're gonna see a lot of overlap in general, but those are your heavier scents. So it makes sense that you're gonna see those scents over and over and over again. This is something you could easily wear to an office. There's nothing offensive or too strong about this. Not that I think any of these are offensive, but the first few that I mentioned, especially the Lost Cherry and the Baccarat, are very distinctive scents, I think. And so people are going to notice it, whereas this is just a nice, pleasant scent, and nobody's necessarily gonna stop you and go, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? But you're going to smell good. Then we have another beautiful bottle, and I will admit that I started wearing this because I did a collaboration with Armani, and they requested that I talk about it, and then I quickly fell in love with it again. The bottle is beautiful. I love this blue stone on the top, and this is the Armani My Way Eau de Parfum. It is described as a floral fragrance, a very feminine fragrance, which it is. This I wear when I have like a girl's lunch. This to me is, it can be worn evening or daytime, but it's a little, to me, a little more floral, and the florals I tend to prefer to wear during the day. The main accords are white floral, tuberose, and citrus. Top notes are orange blossom and bergamot. The middle notes are tuberose and jasmine. Oh, this does smell really good. And the base notes are Madagascar vanilla, white musk, and Virginian cedar. So that's a few scents we haven't talked about yet. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. The next one is a rollerball, and this is very, very budget friendly. I think they carry this at Target. I know they have it at Ulta. It's from the brand Pacifica, and it's the French lilac perfume. I don't have the notes and all that in this one because this is a lot more budget friendly, so it tends not to be described that way. Obviously it's a floral, it's French lilac. It's floral, fresh, and green. Those are the main accords, and it's described as a blend of lilac, magnolia leaves, heliotrope, ylang-ylang, hyacinth, and subtle notes of nectarine. This is one of the more sophisticated lilac scents that I have personally smelled, and I love it. I also love the Pacifica Sugared Amber, but the scent is discontinued, so I'm not even going to talk to you about it. Next is something that I usually only wear in the spring. To me, this is a very seasonal scent. It's from Clinique, the My Happy line, and it's the My Happy Lily of the Beach. I did use up and absolutely love Cocoa Cashmere from this line. I haven't replaced it because I have quite a few other scents to get through, but it's one of my all-time favorites, I have to mention. But this Lily of the Beach to me is more of a spring, early summer fragrance. It's considered a floral, woody fragrance. The main accords are white floral, tropical, and floral again. The top notes are bergamot and solar lily. The middle notes are ylang-ylang, tiara, and frangipani. And the base notes are coconut, sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. It's such a beautiful lily of the valley type scent. Very floral, but to me, very much a springtime scent. And then the last one is probably the most worn, but I will admit that I am out of it. It is extremely expensive, although not as expensive, I think, per ounce as my first two that I mentioned. And it is the scent I've loved the longest. I will replace this eventually. It is the Hermes Hermessance Ambre Narguille. I mean, look at this. I'm down to the little itty bitty, just nothing of it. Look at the Hermes leather around the cap and the dust on this because I don't use it because there's almost nothing left. It is the most unique, amazing scent, and it used to only be available at an Hermes boutique or through Hermes online. I'm so happy to tell you that Saks carries it now. So if you prefer to order from Saks or you're near a Saks, it's a little easier to get to a Saks Fifth Avenue retail store than an Hermes boutique. You can get it there. This one doesn't have a lot of the descriptions of like the different notes and the main accords. Oh, it does have a main accord. Warm, spicy, sweet, and vanilla. It's considered an amber spicy fragrance. And the creator described it as having scents of tobacco, fruit, honey, spices, and smoke. It is the most sexy, sweet, warm, unique scent. That being said, I know I'm almost out of it here. When I went to the Hermes store, which was years ago, they were very generous with their samples. And I really need to just decant these things. I mean, look at this. This is a lot of fragrance. Actually, I think I have a few more. Yes, I do. This is a lot. I need to just decant these into an atomizer and stop hoarding these little test tube size scents. But that is it. That is what, for the most part, is sitting on my perfume tray. There are a few other scents that are sitting there, some just because they're pretty, like Bronze Goddess. I haven't used this in forever. I occasionally pull this out in the summer, but I've saved this bottle for a very long time. And then I also have to say that I do have about half a bottle left of the Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. I do really like the scent, but for me, I found that the Jo Malone scents don't last on me very long, which is very disappointing because these are not inexpensive, but this is very much a fresh, floral, sweet scent as well. Well, let me know if any of those stood out to you. Do you have any of these perfumes yourself? Do you love a completely different scent category? Are you more of a clean scent, a green scent, a floral, a fruity? I'd love to hear from you. What are your top 1 or 2 fragrances? I hope you found this interesting. Maybe you learned something more about fragrance that you didn't realize you didn't know, and did you need to know it? I don't know. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.